Whoa, this is an early knife of the year contender from Ray Laconico and Monterey Bay Knives. And little subtitle, guys, the big knife that I think small knife people will actually love. And we'll talk about why momentarily. Thanks for being here on the Knives Fast channel, guys. Let's jump in to this big boy that is so good. Now, months ago, Ray Laconico put up a drawing of this. This is the Monterey Bay Knives Sabertooth. It's a Ray Laconico design, and immediately I went, I'm getting one of these. I think I even posted on Ray's drawing on Instagram. I'm going to get one of those because this just spoke to me. Because here's the thing. We all know what a Ray Laconico knife looks like. And this sort of looks like a Ray Laconico knife, and it makes you think of Ray. But this is as if Ray just got a moment in his head and said, you know what? Let's do something different. Let's use some freedom. And this I just absolutely love because it's sort of out of that box, but still has his design language, which I think is absolutely the way it should be. Now, we do not know. We know these are made in China, but we do not know who the OEM is. They were live on Monterey Bay Knives. Now, the way this worked, these dropped, but what happened was I saw Sanford from Monterey Bay Knives post on Instagram that these were coming, but he had already QC'd 10 and 10 were going up, and I went, bam. I didn't even think. I went over there. I grabbed one because, guys, listen, $140 for full titanium with a steel inset liner lock, S90V steel. Yeah. And I was like, there's no chance I'm not getting one of these. And so I got it. They were sold out in like 2 minutes because there were only 10. And then he dropped the rest and they were gone in no time. Now they are working on more of these as well as a smaller version that they actually put pictures up of yesterday on Instagram. But these, they will be called the Maverick. No, not the Maverick, the Wolverine. Gee whiz, where did the Maverick come from? So we have an opening hole and a fuller, and we have a front flipper with big jimping, which I think is really cool. We have flat scaled titanium here. We do have a reversible titanium clip, which works well enough. I do wish that ramp was a little bit better, but it works. I mean, I'm just going to slip it in the pocket again right now. Yeah, I mean, it does bunch up my cargo pants just a little bit because of the fatness of the end of that clip and the ramp. But I'm sure most of you won't have a lot of problems with it. And it's a good clip as far as retention, and it's a good looking clip. And it flips over. You do have a little bit sticking out of the pocket. Again, that could be a little bit better, but we have very minimal things to say about this knife as far as anything nitpicky or negative, and that's one of them. Now, we have a flat ground blade, very tall here. We have, a decent amount of room on that sharpening choil. I will say, the plunge in's right about there, so a few sharpenings you should get no problem. But, it's just hard to say. Monterey Bay Knives logo right there. And this is, to me, a beautiful knife for some mod work, like lasering or anodization or whatever you want to do. It is absolutely killer. It is a liner lock. You do have pretty good access to the liner and a chamfer. It could be just a little bit more. And I will say the first couple of times I opened this, the fat of my finger got between the liner and the frame and kind of got pinched a little bit, but I've gotten used to it now. You gotta kind of flatten your finger and not allow that to happen. And it's good. Now, detent is pretty dang good. I had somebody on one of my shorts say, man, you got a really light detent there. And no, I would definitely, can't shake it out, flicks pretty well. I think the pivot still needs to break in just a little bit. Front flips very well, so I'm not sure where that comment came from, but it is what it is. Beautiful knife. Now, why did I say Well, first of all, let's do one other thing real quick. Lockup is around 15. No lock rock, no blade play, just so well done. Now, oh, and by the way, all the way out to the end, and dead center. Now, why did I say I think this would be a good knife, a good big knife for small knife people? Number one, there is a lot of milling for weight reduction, and this is not a heavy knife. I mean, we'll give the weight when we do the specs, but to me, this is absolutely not a heavy knife. It's just not. You may disagree with me, and that's okay. Now, the second reason is, guys, to me, this backed up grip is magic. So my finger goes right there, 2 fingers over the hump, 1 finger right here in this kind of little well right here, and it fits me perfectly. And my thumb goes right on that thumb ramp with the jimping, and it's perfect. Now, that is great. So I think this would work well with folks with smaller hands. And if you'd like, you can choke up. Now, the choke up is good for me because you kind of get a pinch grip going on like this. By the way, you can pinch grip this knife with that kind of spear point blade and get that tip lower. That's great. But, for me, this doesn't feel as good as this does. I would literally, if I choke up, I would want my thumb to be here, and with that swedge, it doesn't work quite as well. Now, you would think I would have had a piece of cardboard laying here, but I didn't. Now, on cutting, so I'm going to back up to my favorite grip. My favorite part of this knife is that, I got it all dirty, but my favorite part about this knife is the swedge. And the swedge off that backside, and of course, I get the worst piece of cardboard sitting over there that's flimsy. Trust me, there we go. This knife cuts no problem. This piece of cardboard, all right, hold on. We're going to get another piece. Hold on. Just to prove that the knife is fine, I went and cut all these giant pieces of cardboard off of a big box, and the knife is fine. And just a crappy piece of cardboard I had there a minute ago, and obviously, it's all about angles and different stuff like that. But it is a very slicey. I love the relief on the backside here, and I got tape all over the blade now. But I love the relief on the backside of this edge with that awesome swedge. And you can flick it off of that fuller very easily indeed. And again, I just love the grip I get on this knife, on that backed up grip for me. All right, I'm going to clean this blade. All right, all cleaned up and jumping into specs. The overall length is 8.5 inches with an edge length of 3.5. It is an edge length of 3.5, a blade length of 4 inches, the handle length of 4.5, S90V 62 to 63. So this is going to hold up really, really nicely. Good edge retention, satin blade finish on that flat grind. Ray Laconico design. It is 5 ounces, but for an 8.5 inch knife, I will take that all day long. Full titanium and really good. Now, these are out of stock. They were $140, which was absolutely incredible. And they will be restocking these fairly soon, I guess. And you will also have a chance at the smaller one, the Wolverine. Now, guys, you can see it's almost the same size as the Rat 1. It's quite larger than the Rat 2. Let's bring in a giant knife on the channel. This is the Best Tech Keen 2, 9 inches, 9.5, I think, actually. You can see much larger than the Sabertooth. And then we will bring in the biggest beast of them all that's in for review right now, the Concept Leviathan, which is obviously quite larger. And just to show that it's not really that big, we're putting in a Tempest Fractus, which is an 8-inch knife. And you can see it's not that much bigger than a Fractus. If you've held a Fractus, then you liked it, you'll probably like the size of this guy. And I kind of like, look at this, guys. It's actually taller and wider in the handle than the Fractus. And this part right here, this swell, is what really fills my hand and makes this feel so good in the hand. I mean, it really does. And you know, I love that kind of stuff. Anything that makes something even more ergonomic is right up there with me. So what do you guys think of the Sabertooth? Again, nitpicks would be a little better ramp on that clip, or just not quite as thick at the front here. You know, a little more clearance there. And then what was the other thing? There was the fact that the plunge grind is somewhat close in there. So very, very cool. Again, they'll be coming out with more of these. And so far, I absolutely love this knife. So let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell to all guys. And thank you for watching the Knives Fast channel.